I would like to create this demo to demonstrate different accounts payable operation rules, supply lifecycle operations rules, and source to pay application users and roles. As of the accounts payable operations, the main user who is working with invoice processing cases is accounts payable specialist. The main workspace for the accounts payable specialist is source to pay workspace. Where accounts payable specialist can work with invoice processing cases, can view invoices, view purchase orders, can work with document intelligence, extract, review, validate, and submit extracted values. For example, here we have a new invoice case where invoice is still being processed and needs to review extracted values. This one is already in progress. It means that invoice has been processed, required data submitted, duplicates check is run, then purchase order lines matched to invoice lines, then exceptions are checked and closed, and then invoice is sent for approval and payment. Accounts payable specialist gets invoice cases assigned, and they appear in his or her inbox here. On the other side of the invoice processing case is the requester. In our case, this is supplier contact. The role of the supplier contact belongs to supplier lifecycle operations, and supplier contacts are created during onboarding process or when using supplier collaboration portal. We see it right now. Supplier contact can self-register on this portal. From here, supplier contacts can view invoices belonging to the supplier, purchase orders, supplier products, request, contracts. I can check invoice case status from here and raise requests. For example, I want to submit an invoice. This will be a PO invoice. I see that the invoice case is created right away. And being an accounts payable specialist, I get this invoice case in my inbox and start working on it. It's been in processed by document intelligence right now. On the other side of the invoice processing case is the invoice inquiries. With those types of invoice cases, a different user works with the invoice case agent role. The same workflow here, supplier contact or someone, a requester, submits an inquiry case. A different type of invoice case is created, invoice inquiry case, and it appears in the inbox of the invoice case agent. These invoice cases, invoice inquiries routing is configured by the advanced work assignment rules. In our case, we have two channels: invoice processing cases and invoice inquiry cases. Then going to different queues based on the specific skills if required. Then assignment rules. For example, we wrote invoices in German language to the agents with the specific skill. We also use an assignment rule as a most capacity. That means those agents who are busy won't get the invoice case. It will be routed to the agent who is not over occupied right now. The capacity is the number of invoice processing cases that are in progress right now and assigned to an agent. All those assignment rules, invoice exceptions, and approval rules are configured by the accounts payable administrator. Accounts payable administrators can work with all the administrative properties of the invoice cases. They can configure and add new approval rules. They can introduce new job codes to the users. Those job codes then used by the approval rules. Administrators can work on exception definitions and tolerance types and rules. Tolerance rules are those rules that include different variances levels that can be ignored when purchasing invoices, so that some unsubstantial costs and prices like unit price or insubstantial difference in invoice header price can be ignored to save costs and agent time. Another role installed with the Supplier Lifecycle Operations is Supplier Manager. Supplier Manager works with the source-to-pay workspace as well, and Supplier Manager works with the onboarding cases. He or she can create a new supplier, thus adding some primary basic data on the supplier. He or she triggers the onboarding case. During onboarding, suppliers checked, risk assessments are run, supplier contacts validated, and access is granted to suppliers through onboarding case. Thus, suppliers get access to this collaboration portal during onboarding or when self-registering at this portal. One more user role that is the part of source to pay is procurement specialist. Procurement specialist works with sourcing request, purchase requisitions, and by working with those cases, purchase orders are created. Procurement specialist also works within source to pay workspace. This is where all the sourcing requests coming from employees accumulated. When a purchase on the shopping hub for the product that has price, then the purchase requisition is created. If the product is not on the shopping hub, and sometimes it's not even in the system, sometimes suppliers the shopper wants to buy products from are not in the system, then the sourcing request is created that also spins off the onboarding case for the new supplier. Procurement specialist has access to requisitions, negotiations, sourcing requests, purchase orders, and supply information. When we are talking about sourcing requests and onboarding, we can imagine the following workflow. An employee goes to Employee Center Shopping Hub, submits a sourcing request with the new supplier, and this sourcing request is automatically assigned to a specific procurement specialist who initiates automatic supply qualification, then creates negotiation events with negotiates prices on the supplier products. Within the sourcing request, the onboarding case is created as well and assigned to the supplier manager, who goes through the playbook, onboarding suppliers and supplier contacts. And then by the end of the workflow, supplier contact gets access to collaboration portal, and employee gets his or her purchase order. Once the purchase order is created, the business owner is assigned to it. Usually, business owner is the requester, the employee who initiated the sourcing request. Business owner or invoice owner is the first level of approvals on the invoice and purchase orders. I think this is the main range of user roles that come from accounts payable operations, supply lifecycle operations, and sourcing and procurement. Thank you.